you can be just stand still or degrading and going down and say, what the heck is happening? The other part is to really take charge and change the environment and everything. And then you pivot nicely so that you are able to bring the cash flows back into your business.
I think you said it best. You got a cash flow, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's it.
we're using the word pivot because, but pivot's a technique, right? When things
Yeah,
aren't working, really, it's just be a magnet to cash flow. Stay focused on the
yeah.
cash flow. Stay focused on the sales.
Good morning! This is the Abundance Mindset Podcast. Sit back and relax as we discuss hot topics on how to handle and grow your business, self-development, and how positivity can bring profitability in your life. Here are your hosts, Vinney and Gualter.
Hi friends, this is Vinney Chopra from here in Danville, California. And you might be saying, hey Vinney, what are these over here? I wrote this book a few years back, Apartment Syndication Made Easy. It became top seller. I came from India with $7 in my pocket. It says 500 million. It's going to be 1 billion very soon. I'm right at about 850, 900 million. And then I'm ready for the next billion. Actually, you will see that happening, 2 billion in this book also. The other book I wrote, which has been a very big positivity, has been my life. Always, I've been married 43 years with 2 children. And the beauty is to be positive, the mindset that can take you to all the places in the world. And that's the book that also became big seller. My third book, Senior Assisted Living, is coming. So do yourself a favor. Go ahead and click the link below to get free copies, audio copies of these books, even printed copies of these books if you can't afford it. But I would highly recommend for you to get these or go to Amazon. I got it in soft cover, in hardcover, in Kindle, in audio, also the Spanish version of this book also. So let's crush it, guys. I know you can be successful. I know you can do the kind of things that you want to do in life and have the streams of income and know how to really educate yourself so that you could become a strong force in this world in real estate. I know you can. So take that step. Don't just be on the sideline. Take charge of your life. Take charge of your education.
In Tampa, in Florida, how is the weather there?
It rains around 1 o'clock every day, but for the rest of the day, it's nice 80 degrees. It's been like today, actually, it was a little cooler. It was like 75 degrees, but 2 days ago it was 95 degrees, and
Oh my gosh.
Doreen and the baby did not like the outside walks. They go in the stroller, and he, after a little while, was like, "We need to go home. It's too hot out here." So, Wealth Principle 40 is an interesting one because it's all about what you talk about all the time. It's habits, right? So, the Wealth Principle 40 is creating keystone habits. So this is not just habits that you've built over the years, but there's got to be a few habits. And I hint at this all the time. I'm always asking, like, Vinny, but what are your like key habits? So I'm super excited about today because we actually dive into the key habits, keystone habits that are behind everything. For everybody who's jumping in, we do this every Thursday at 9 a.m. PST and 12 p.m. EST. Abundance Thursdays is with myself, and Vinny is a billionaire. So his partner is right now $2.5 billion under management. And then for these partners, Vinny went from raising $280 million to purchasing $1.6 billion worth of real estate. And he paid his investors millions of dollars over the years, just paying it forward and paying back the people who invested with him in the first place. Vinny, the keystone habits that got you here are probably the same habits that would get anybody to where they want to go. Because you've gone to very high levels, but to get to lower levels, those habits probably are still important.
Important to have the right foundation. Like I say, Gualter, you don't want to jump into anything without calculating, doing the research, being the biggest detective, learning the material, and then you see what are the chances of making it happen, reaching success, because nobody likes failures. And the big thing is you got to really have a good game plan why you want to do anything, starting a business, starting a habit, starting anything. What are the benefits and how you should really do all the research to mitigate the risk.
I love that you started with this one because I have your notes here and it says thorough research, due diligence as the key beginning place. And I was telling
Mhm.
everybody on the call yesterday when I was teaching the 27 creative strategies from Dave Lindahl that Dave Lindahl was actually your mentor. And actually you paid him
Yes.
like $150,000 to learn just to understand. Like you were doing research and due diligence.
Team, we were so excited. I want to really give him thanks, and he's a great friend of mine now. But it's been wonderful because training is so important. Stimulating your mind, understanding the material, getting just dive into anything you want to really be good at. You got to really live it. You have to dream, live, just eat, drink that passion, because then only you will become successful in that particular field.
So everybody knows that we are 87 days to the summit. It's getting
Yes.
close.
Yeah.
Vinny, these people are setting on some crazy goals, right? I just got off the phone with one of our local leaders who said all of her community members over the next 90 days are committed to making $1 million. And I just sat and I was
Wow.
like, Angela, wow. Like, one, I love that goal. And then I was like, how are you going to do this? And she's like, I got everybody watching Undercover Billionaire so that they can believe that it's possible. They're doing the research on how these other people did it. And we're going to start working every single week and we're moving towards it. So you have number two as setting smart goals. Now, I know a lot of people write
Yes.
about this and talk about this, but we're going to do it anyway because it's literally your second habit. And you put this in here for a reason. So why smart goals and why is this number two after you've done your research?
See, the thing is, a lot of people in my lifetime, I've been here over 40 years, right? Having smart goals, measurable goals, and also realistic goals. It's good to go outside the dot. You just mentioned about $1 million in 6 months or something. My thinking is going, okay, what have they done? Where are they at right now? The future can be changed, but not by reading the book. You just mentioned about a book that can get your mind right. But then you have to see what will it take from today to raise that 1 million or earn that 1 million, how much they raised or made, earned, let's say, in the last 6 months or last month or last year, and then what they have to tweak. See, I think it all boils down to not just smart goals, measurable goals, and outside, we call it BHAG goals, big, audacious, hairy goals, or something in
Yeah,
Bill
yeah, big
Hewlett's
hairy
book,
audacious goals.
Jim Collins' book. The thing is, you can psych yourself up so much positivity, but then it all boils down to what are the nitty gritty? What's the system? Where are you going to delve today to get on your journey to that $1 million earning?
And
It's
this
not
is
impossible, but you got to be realistic and then do it. Be passionate. What you're going to do every hour of the day to reach that goal.
I like it because you set number one as your thorough research and due diligence, and then you set number two as your smart goals. Number three,
Yes,
you said networking. Number four, you said continuous learning. And I know
yes,
as I'm looking at these, I'm like, wow, like you have to keep going back to thorough research and due diligence after you network. And then you have to
yeah,
go back and set new goals once you've realized, oh, I
mhm,
didn't talk to enough people. I got to adjust how many people I talk to. So you're constantly going back to one and two as you're
yeah,
moving through networking, as you're moving through continuous learning, as you're moving through time management. You start adjusting your time after more
yes,
research and after better
yes,
goals. Then you get into number six, you set as risk assessment and management. And
yeah.
number seven, financial discipline as the clincher to all of it. If we can go back into risk assessment and management, why
Oh,
is that one of the factors that's made you successful?
that is the number, I think, very high, a top priority. Because what you do today, or what companies you want to get into, or whatever business you are in, you got to have a good business plan and then find out who is doing that same thing. Who's your competition? What's your competition look like? Who's your avatar? Because any service, any product will stay as a product unless you have a good marketing plan to get it out to the avatar that you're going to be serving. Because business plan involves projections of numbers. You have to make sure the revenues are coming in. If there is no revenue, there's no business. There are expenses galore, lots and lots of expenses. And you, of course, everybody says first 3 years we can be negative and not making money and this and that. Those days are gone. How can you survive nowadays with going negative and not making money? I've come across some entrepreneurs where they say revenues are coming in, but they're slow. That tells me there is something missing because you got to get into a system. That's why the businesses fail. I don't know what percentage is in the first 1 year, so many fail. But if you have reached 3 years, then lesser percentage fail, right?
I don't remember the first two numbers, but I know after 10
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
only 10% are still standing.
It's mind blowing. So the thing is, you got to do these steps of research, mitigating the risk, full game plan, business plan, look through it and look through it again. And who are the team members? It's not a solo game. How much expense will be involved in hiring, staffing? All those facets have to be looked at before you delve into getting that building, leasing that building, or developing the product. Could be a gadget or could be a service. So it applies to everything we do in life because the engine of any business in the front is sales and marketing. They have to be a component of that business that generates leads. Leads have to be there. If we don't have the leads and the people who are interested, who should be our avatar people, not just throwing thing on the wall and hope and pray that some will buy the stuff. That's why businesses fail. They fail because we don't have the whole plan thought through.
This is very interesting because we talked about sales and marketing, and you actually, when asked how to mitigate risk or assess risk and manage risk, and then financial discipline, you always come back to sales. This is not the first time you've done this, Vinny. Every time we're on a call or every time we're talking about a company or a business, you're always looking at the revenue of the business. So you don't believe in
Yes.
buying businesses that it's like, oh, one day we'll be profitable. It's what are we
Uh,
doing today to be
uh,
profitable?
that's where it really got me from $7 to over $1 billion AUM, 1.6 billion. The reason is because you have to invest into the companies and into the real estate also, where there is cash flow. And you and I have talked about it lately. Multifamily is become like red ocean, I call it. Competition, interest rates, everything, insurance costs, property taxes. And doing the reverse way, there are other parts of senior assisted livings and boutique hotels and Airbnbs and marinas and others and wines. Yesterday's
That's what I liked about the
mastermind.
mastermind is you and some of the people in there were doing wineries, doing marinas, you did a marina. I know Dave Mulvaney is doing two wineries. This woman,
Yep,
Ella, who I met
yep.
for the first time in your mastermind, is doing RALs, and she's an operator, which
Yes.
I've asked you a lot of questions on how to find good operators, and just showing up last night was pretty cool.
Fantastic. And next Wednesday, I'm going to go deeper into teaching how to find the right operators. What are the qualities of those? How to ask behavioral questions, how to dig into their past to make sure they are the right operators and administrators for RALs.
Very interesting, Vinny. We got to check with the community, but I think it would be very cool. Maybe 2 Wednesdays from now on the
Yeah,
Wednesday webinar
yeah,
that I run,
yeah.
maybe do the same thing because I know a lot of people
I would
inside
love
our
that.
mastermind that
Love
you've been
that.
in are also talking about
Mhm.
RALs. I like that. Awesome.
And boutique hotels and marinas. Let's diversify. Let's look at where, see, we got to pivot. You can be just stand still or degrading and going down and say, what the heck is happening? The other part is to really take charge and change the environment and everything. And then you pivot nicely so that you are able to bring the cash flows back into your business.
I think you said it best. You got a cash flow, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's it.
we're using the word pivot but pivot's a technique, right? When things
Yeah,
aren't working, really it's just be a magnet to cash flow. Stay focused on the
yeah,
cash flow, stay focused on the sales, stay focused on the customer, what
yes.
they want, and adjust, be willing to pivot towards the
Totally.
customer, towards more sales, towards more cash flow for your investors. So these keystone habits, I'm going to list them again for those of you who want to hear
Yeah.
what Vinney listed as his seven keystone habits. The first being thorough research and due diligence. The second being
Yes.
setting smart goals. The third being networking. The fourth being continuous learning. The fifth being time management. The sixth being risk assessment and management. And the seventh being financial discipline. And yes, in those orders, like in that order, with
Yes.
the first two being the most important, the first three being the most important. That's thorough research and due diligence, setting smart goals, and networking. And
Yes.
every other one of those was actually just a subversion of one of those top three. So we do this every Thursday at 9 a.m. PST. Vinny, one of these days I'm going to totally master this. 9 a.m. PST,
AM.
12 p.m. EST. It's been 2 years and we're still like, but it's Abundance Thursdays with myself, Gualter Murillo, and the great Vinney Smile Chopra. Vinny, what's one thing you'd say
Thank
to
you.
everybody who's coming to the summit?
It's going to be exciting, not only motivational, the abundance mindset and positivity which I talk about, but I think we're going to talk a lot more about cash flowing deals and structures and where we should really be investing time in learning and educating and then digging into it. So I'll be showing some case studies and lots of great things over there. It'll be fantastic. I know it was been fabulous. 2 years I've been there, and now we have changed the summit, the name also, and a lot more diverse and a lot more entrepreneurs will be there. So see you there. Yeah.
I can't wait. I gotta tell everybody there's plenty of room at the top. Cheers to your success. We always work with the best. We'll see you next week. And Vinny, I'll see you on the next one, brother.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See you.
Hey there! The upcoming episode is scheduled for Thursday. We appreciate your viewership of the Abundance Mindset Show. Tune in every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 12 p.m. Eastern on various social media platforms hosted by Vinney Chopra and Gualter Murillo. Don't forget to subscribe, share your comments, and leave a 5-star review. Thank you for your support.